Y'all, let's go make some stuff with cranberries. Come on. All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we are working with cranberries. It is that time of the year. The holidays are nigh upon us. We are looking at Thanksgiving directly in the eyes, and just over the horizon is Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's and all of those festive occasions where cranberries seem to make their way onto most, at least American tables. Now, it's obviously bright, it's red, it's colorful, it's kind of tart, a little bit sweet, and most often, in Thanksgiving at least, we see it as cranberry sauce. Not a huge fan. If you love it, that's great. It's not something I reach for, but it's hard to deny that it's not festive on the table, and a lot of people make desserts and other things with it. So I wanted to tackle two recipes to make some things that you generally don't see. So we're not making muffins, we're not making cranberry sauce. We're tackling two kind of maybe unusual recipes. One is sweet and one is savory, or savorish. The first one is gonna be cranberry jalapeno dip. This is by the TikTok creator I Can Keto That. And this looks great, a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, goes great as a dip and an appetizer before the meal, and looks super festive because of the red and the green. The second recipe we're gonna tackle is pretty easy, and this is by a website we have never tried before, lowcarbsosimple.com. And this is their recipe for 4-ingredient keto cranberry and mascarpone mousse. So get ready, let's tackle both of these. Enough yakking, let's get cracking on this first recipe. Come on. All right, so let's get started on this first recipe. This is our savory one, our savorish recipe, I guess you could say, because the cranberries are sweet. But this is a dip. This is again from I Can Keto That, a TikTok creator. I'll leave a link down below to that. I'll try to give you as many of the ingredients as I can, because I know some of you have trouble accessing TikTok or don't use them. But normally I want you to go to the person who created this recipe. So please, if you have TikTok, go visit her there. And this is her recipe for cranberry jalapeno dip. So we're going to start with cranberries, and we've got a pot here, and these are already been washed and ready to go. And this is about 8 ounces of cranberries here. And to this, we're going to add a little bit of water, just a half a cup of water. And we're going to boil this down, obviously, to get this into a sauce. There's 2 portions to this recipe. There's the sauce, and then there is the cream cheese base, right? To this, we're going to add about a half a cup of your favorite keto sweetener. I'm using allulose. I tend to stick kind of with allulose these days. I just like it. So I'm going to put a little bit of heat on here, and we're going to do the juice of about half a lemon. Let's just add some brightness to the recipe, I would imagine. Oops, I left the sticker on that one. And both of these recipes are really pretty quick. They're easy to do. So what we're going to do is I want to speed this up, but we're going to bring this to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, it will be shortly after that these berries the cranberries are going to pop. And then I'm going to use the back of the wooden spoon and kind of push them down and break them apart, lower the heat, reduce it. And then this is going to simmer until this thickens up. All the pectin out of the berries are going to sort of make this into a jelly-like consistency. So it is kind of a cranberry sauce, but when you see what we're going to put it on, it ain't going to be turkey. I guess you could put it on your turkey. So I'm going to speed this up, and I'll meet you back here in just a bit. All right. Okay, so that's been about 8 minutes here, and you can see the consistency of this. It's almost like a thick gelatin, a thick jelly, and this is obviously, you know, cranberry sauce. As much as I just sat and talked about we ain't making cranberry sauce, we just made cranberry sauce. But you're going to see what we do with it from here. So I'm going to put it, we got to get this to cool down a little bit, because it would just melt the cream cheese. So I'm going to put it in a wide, shallow bowl so that it can get some airflow. Let me get it out of this pan. Hold on. And get all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit over to the side while we work on the rest of our recipe. And I actually may put this in the fridge once it cools down a little bit. You don't want to go in there right away. You know, this is cranberry. If you don't have cranberry, I know that's sort of a quintessential American, maybe Canadian thing, North American thing, or you just don't like cranberries. Some people just don't. It's too bitter for them. I bet this would be great, this recipe, both of these recipes, with like some blackberries. some blueberries, maybe pomegranate, mix some, blackberry pomegranate with the jalapeno cream cheese. I can see all of those being fantastic additions to this, or substitutions, even in a savory application. I've had blackberry barbecue sauce, which is great. So anyway, enough about that. I'm gonna put this away, gonna clean up here so we can move on to the next part of this recipe, which is the cream cheese base. All right, be right back. All right, so now we're ready to tackle the other portion of this recipe. That's the cream cheese base. So we're gonna start with 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'll let you decide whether you want to do low-fat cream cheese or full-fat cream cheese. I'll show you the macros for both at the end. There's a considerable difference in the calorie count on this and the fat count. So depending on whether you're just eating low carb or if you're eating keto, I'll let you make that decision based on the end. I'm actually going to use low fat cream cheese in this. So we're going to start with that. This has got to be room temperature, okay? To this, we're going to add in our jalapeno, and I'm not a huge spicy fan, y'all know that, so I definitely seeded mine. I'll let you make that decision whether you want to seed yours or not. And I used, instead of small jalapeno, that's about the size that I used. The heat level is going to depend on a lot of things, like time of the year, how ripe it is, all that good stuff. So I would just caution you to, maybe chop it thin, because you don't want to bite into a huge chunk of this. Also, a couple of green onions, green spring onions. We're going to put those in there. We've chopped those. And we're going to do, she said about 2 tablespoons. No, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. And then to this, we're going to add in some seasonings. And this is just a ½ teaspoon each of salt, pepper, and onion powder. So we're going to put this in a mixer. You can probably do this in a hand mixer, but I'm going to do it in a stand mixer. I'm going to just let this run and get this nice and fluffy, and I'll meet you back here as soon as this is done. Shouldn't take long if this has been on, if the cream cheese is nice and room temperature. All right, see you in just a bit. Helps if it's plugged in. Okay, so our cream cheese mixture is ready to go, and I'm going to wait and assemble this at the end because I want our, it hasn't been long. I told you this happens quickly. The cranberries are still kind of getting the heat off of them. They're in the fridge right now for just a few minutes. They don't have to chill down all the way, but I just don't want them to melt the cream cheese. So what I'm going to do is just knock this down and get this ready to go. You want to make sure also, if you're using a stand mixer like this, that you have really gotten down into the bottom of the bowl there, because stuff tends to live down in there, if you know what I mean, kind of get stuck down in there. So what I'm going to do, just put this to the side, and then we're going to get cleaned up. We're going to get started on our second recipe, which is even faster than this one. We'll assemble all this together. I'll test both the recipes and tell you what I think about them, nutrition facts and all that jazz. So I'll see you back here for the second recipe. All right, so let's get started on this second recipe. But before we do, I need to thank today's sponsor, Foreo. Now, you've heard me talk about them in the past, and you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to hear about their amazing Black Friday deals. Now, if you've seen my recent videos, you've heard me talk about how much I love my FAQ 202 LED face mask. It probably sounds weird to hear a guy talk about this, but I turned 50 this year, and whether you're a man or a woman, that comes with a lot of baggage and a lot of worry and a lot of neglect and damage that I've done to my skin over the years. And it's time to change that, and the FAQ 202 face mask allows me to do that. Now, if you are not familiar with the benefits of LED light therapy or near infrared light therapy, I encourage you to do some research. The FAQ 202 is an FDA cleared new generation LED face mask that allows me to access all of the benefits of this modern science of light therapy. Studies show like a 32% reduction in fine lines and wrinkles in as little as 2 weeks, and that's definitely something I have noticed myself. To be honest, other people have commented on it as well. So it's super light and wireless and easy to use. I just apply a little bit of their FAQ red light peptide serum, slip the mask on, and then I can go about my business, whether that's just reading and relaxing or cooking, doing laundry, doing chores, or even editing these videos. The app has multiple pre-programmed treatments. You can do a full 15-minute repairing session that combats the natural signs of skin damage, or just a quick 5-minute refresh boost that helps brighten the skin and improve smoothness and clarity. There are hundreds of points of light that help direct the near-infrared light directly to your skin, and there are over 8 different settings because each color of LED light has different benefits to the skin. Thank you, Foreo, for sponsoring this video and for offering me the ability to experience clinic-quality LED light therapy right here in the comfort of my own home. Since I've been using the FAQ 202, I have noticed a marked difference in the quality of my skin. Now, if you'd like to check out Foreo's amazing Black Friday deals, be sure to use the link in the video description below and use my code HIGH35 to get an extra 35% off of almost all Foreo products. And that discount code is stackable on sale items, so that means you get up to 50% off of Foreo products. Again, that's code HIGH35 for an extra 35% off if you click the link that's in my video description below. All right, let's get back to the second recipe. Come on. All right, so it's time to tackle this second recipe. This one is super fast and super easy, but sounds amazing. Now, this is, I found it on their YouTube channel, but they also have a written recipe that I'm going to send you to. This is the 4-ingredient Keto Cranberry and Mascarpone Mousse. And this is by LowCarbSoSimple.com. This is a new creator for me. I've never done any of their recipes before. But, so this is going to start with some cranberries. This is about a half a cup of cranberries. There's no cooking in this. We're just going to use a hand mixer. You can, or an immersion blender. I think you could probably use a food processor. But I've just picked up a little hand blender, which you guys have been after me for years to do. So I'm going to finally use that. To this, we're going to add in a sweetener of choice. This is about a half cup. And I'm going to use a powdered sweetener. So this is powdered Swerve. I don't think you want a granulated sweetener in this for getting smooth because this is a mousse, right? So from here, I'm just going to try to use this immersion blender and get in here and pulverize this until we get a puree. So I'm going to do that now and I'll speed this up, okay? Okay, so we've got our cranberry puree. Again, I think this would be just as easy in a food processor, and you're going to find out why. So to this, we're going to add in some, this is the mascarpone cheese. So I've got 8 ounces of that. Is that how much we're using? Yep, 8 ounces. And it's kind of thick. This has been sitting out. This is room temperature, but it's still pretty thick. They kind of did it in the video in their the same little container here using a hand mixer. I'm going to attempt that, and I might be like, wish I had never even tried. But if that happens, you'll see me transfer all this to a bowl and get after it with both sides of my mixer. If you'll see what I mean. To this, we're also going to add in a little bit of vanilla. And again, this recipe would be fine with any kind of berry I would imagine that you want. This would be great with blueberries, blackberries, lingonberries, pomegranates probably. So that's a teaspoon of good vanilla. So wish me luck. I'm going to just try to get after this. And we're just going to beat this until it's nice and soft and fluffy and pink. And I'll be right back here. This is as simple as it is. Okay, that turned out actually pretty well. It's not quite as fluffy as I really wanted it. So, you know, this might work out better, like I said, in a food processor, but I bet it's going to taste good. So from here, they put it in a piping bag, which I actually could do. In fact, hold on, let me do that. So they used a decorative tip, but we're just going to use a plastic bag. I can't find my decorator tip at the moment. So I'm going to put this in a Ziploc. This would be easier to put it in if you stand that up in a cup. It's mortifying. Okay, so we are back and we're almost ready to test. We've got a couple of little things to finish up on. I put our mascarpone mousse, the cranberry mousse, in our little cups here. They're ready to go. And now this is our first recipe. We've got the cream cheese spread on our serving platter, and now we just need to add the cranberry to this. And I didn't want to put too much, but you kind of just want to come. She smeared hers all over the beautiful serving platter, so I don't want to like totally muck it up here. She puts a little bit of green onions on hers on top just to give it some color and zhuzh it up a little bit. Oh, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? Look at there. And then you're going to use whatever you want. Like I've found some of the Parmesan crisps. You could use, I've got some protein crackers that I found that are fairly low carb. I wouldn't call them keto, but I would call them low carb. I think they're about 6 net carbs per serving of those. And then Parmesan crisps are 0 net carbs. And then whatever you want to dip in with this, you know, you could use pork rinds, whatever you want. So okay, I had to take a few photos of those before we dig into these and we talk about the nutrition, but I mean, look at that. What a beautiful presentation that would make on the table, and features cranberries, and it's not just plain old cranberry sauce. So, all right, let's talk about the nutrition of these. Our first recipe, this was the by TikTok creator I Can Keto That, and this is her recipe for cranberry jalapeno dip. Like I said, I made it with low-fat cream cheese. You can make it with full-fat cream cheese, but I'm going to give you the nutrition information for both. So the whole thing, she didn't say how many servings. It's hard to say in a dip. I put in 6 servings. So if you made this and you make 6 servings and you eat 1 serving of that, 1/6 of this, doesn't include the chips. For the low-fat cream cheese as it's made is 103 calories. You got 6 grams of fat, 3 grams of protein. You got 9 total carbs. You've got 2 grams of fiber, so that's 7 grams of net carbs per serving. So low carb, maybe not keto, but the low fat does have higher carb count, but a much lower calorie count because, as you see, if you made this with full fat, you're talking 6 servings. 1 serving would be 156 calories. You've got 12 grams of fat. You've got 3 grams of protein, 7 total carbs, 2 grams of fiber for 5 grams of net carbs. So about a 2 gram net carb difference and about 50 calories difference. Our second recipe, this is the 4-ingredient keto cranberry and mascarpone mousse. This is by the creator LowCarbSoSimple.com. And this makes 4 servings. 1 serving of this comes out as 255 calories, 28 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 3.4 grams of total carbs, 1.1 gram of fiber for a total of 2.3 grams of net carbs. Now, both of those recipes, I didn't include the sugar alcohols or the allulose in those carb counts. So what do they taste like? I'm going to do the hot one first, the jalapeno first, so that I can cool it off with this over here. So I'm going to do my little chips over here, the little Parmesan crisp. Going to get some, I hate to mess it all up because it looks so pretty, doesn't it? What do you taste like? Cute little chip. That's festive. Not too spicy. It's savory. A little sweet from the cranberry, kind of tart. I'll do it with my protein cracker. Y'all, that's good. You'd be hard pressed to eat 6 full servings of this. It's pretty thick. That's pretty good. Okay, hold on. Okay, really good. Obviously, this is beautiful. This would make a great presentation for any holiday meal. Just put it out on the buffet, put it out on the coffee table for a game. If somebody's not even eating low carb, they'd be digging into that with some pita chips or whatever they want and would have no idea. That just looks like a festive jalapeno cranberry dip. Now, it's not too hot, but I do have a little bit of heat, so I'm going to cool that off with our mascarpone and cranberry mousse. Do you say mascarpone or mascarpone? I go with the latter because that's the Italian pronunciation of it, but I know a lot of Americans would say mascarpone, so I'm not going to fight you with it. Y'all can argue about it in the comments below. What does this taste like? Mascarpone cheese? Yes, please. That is smooth. That is thick. That's what, 28 grams fat? What did it say? Yeah, I can tell it. It's really good. I would be curious to see how this would be with some ricotta cheese in place of the mascarpone. I think it would take the fat level down. Might increase the carb count a little bit, but it'd take those calories down too. But they're good. It only takes a little bit. Creamy, super smooth. The fat, the tart, just enough tartness from the cranberries. Y'all, I'm gonna have a hard time not just eating this whole thing on camera, so. Whew. All right, hold on. All right, y'all, fabulous cranberry yum-yums. Absolutely, I would be proud to show up at any party with either one of these. Yeah, get after both of these. Please go visit both of those creators down below. Their links are in the video description below and in the pinned comment below. So, all right, guys, there you have it. I say it every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low-carb way of eating, and looking in the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey. Be sure to hit the like button down below and the subscribe and the bell button. That'll let you know just as soon as I release a new video. Helps the algorithm out and lets it know to share this with other people. I'm going to also ask you to hit me up on Facebook and Instagram. I'm just Highfalutin Low Carb in both of those places. I talk a little more frequently and freely over there. So got I think 250,000 and growing over on Facebook and like 25,000 on Instagram. So please come join the party. But there's a lot goes on over there, and you can see more than just the videos that I put out here. Lastly, I just want to thank my rock stars. Those are my channel members, which you always appear down below. If you want to be a channel member, you can do that right below this video. And my Patreon members. I consider Patreon the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you who enjoy what people like me do on YouTube, and you can give $1 or $2 a month just to keep the train on the tracks and enjoy some special content over on patreon.com/highfalutinlowcarb. So with that said, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, today is a great day to have a great day. Bye-bye.